Welcome to the Wellnest Mamas podcast. We are committed to leading a sustainable lifestyle and making community connections. In a world where stress and chaos seem to be the norm, finding balance and fostering a sense of true well-being is essential.
Whether you are just beginning your holistic wellness journey or are already deeply dedicated to the practice, this podcast is for you. Join the Wellnest Mamas as we uncover the secrets to holistic wellness and discover the power of building a healthy community that supports and uplifts one another.
Sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on a transformative journey to leading a sustainably healthy lifestyle. We're glad you're here.
Grounding exercise.
Welcome to the Wellnest Mamas podcast. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Steph, and today we have Dr. Sally Gladden.
Hello.
So Sally, you're a physical therapist, correct?
Correct.
Can you tell me how you became one? Or did you always want to be a physical therapist since you were a little girl?
No. I wanted to be an FBI agent growing up. My dad, who was a police officer, said no. Absolutely no. So I became a massage therapist out of high school. And it was just a plan I was in college and I'd majored in a whole bunch of things. I had, I believe, 9 majors, 7 different universities before I finally actually graduated from school. And in the meantime, I took a break and was like, I'm just going to go to massage school, a school I always wanted to go to for my own knowledge. And I'll go do that for a little bit and then I'll come back to school. So I did do that for many years, and then I did finally go back to school. I got my undergraduate degree from the University of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. Born a Razorback. Woo Pig Suey. But I got my undergrad in hospitality management. That was great. I lived in South Carolina on the beach, and the hospitality management degree there is great. But then got married, got pregnant. And the economy was crashing in 08, 09, and we were out to year pregnant, and our jobs were about to be gone, so we decided to come back to Arkansas, where I'm born and raised, and where the economy was a little bit stronger. And then back then, 08, 09, it wasn't the economic boom that it is now here. So there wasn't really any hospitality management jobs unless I wanted to work in a hotel or restaurant, and I didn't want to do that. So I went back to my first love, massage therapy. And I worked for a chiropractor, and I loved massage. I loved being able to help people with their neck pain, whiplash, TMJ issues, headaches. I just loved it, and I would help people so much. But then they would turn around and come back next week because I wasn't getting down to the root problem. We were just putting a big Band-Aid on it every single week, which is great, but I decided, oh, hey, let's uproot our family now that we have, and let's move across the country to PT school. So I went to PT school kind of as a third career with children, which I do not recommend. That was really hard. So therefore, I just wanted to be able to help people get better for real, getting down to the root cause of treating their pain, treating their symptoms, treating the entire whole person. So I went to PT school, and here we are, many years later.
I love that you started with the background in massage and realized that that wasn't enough.
Quite there.
Yes, yeah. I am a lifelong learner. I always have my nose in a book. I'm always researching something else, and I fell into physical therapy. But physical therapy really found me. It had been trying to find me for years, and I just kept going, oh no, I can't go get a master's. That's not for me. I'm not that smart. And then it's like, oh, now it's a doctorate. Oh, I can't do that. Now I have kids. But it kept coming after me, and I did it, So I love physical therapy. I love massage therapy, and I really love people. I love being able to help them. And I do look at people, every potential person from the ground up, top to bottom, and all around. So if they come in with an elbow problem, I'm not just looking at their elbow. I'm looking at the whole person.
That's so important to really figure out. I mean, a person is not just their parts.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, so when I went to PT school, I really wanted to focus on treating neck and TMJ and headache issues, because those are my issues. You always want to treat what you have, right? So that was my focus in PT school, is treating TMJ, dysfunction, headaches, neck pain. And when I came out of PT school, I actually started working for a pediatric clinic, just to kind of get everybody from the beginning of life up to adult, because it is different treating children as opposed to adults. So I had that as a background, and then when I started further studying TMJ and getting more certifications, I realized, oh, there's a tie to the pelvic floor. TMJ and pelvic floor have this big connection I was not aware of. So then as I dove deeper into pelvic floor physical therapy, it really ties into pretty much all issues. So then I really dove deep in pelvic floor physical therapy. So I like to say that I specialize in treating TMJ dysfunction, headaches, neck pain, back pain, and pelvic floor dysfunction. Sounds like a lot of specialties, but I love every single one of them, and they all fit together. They all work with and against each other, and so you have to look at all of it. So,
can you explain what TMJ is and how it has roots in the pelvic floor?
So, the TMJ, temporomandibular joint, we all have a TMJ. So if people just say, I have TMJ. Well, everyone has TMJ, but not everybody has TMJ dysfunction. TMJ dysfunction, it tends to be more females than males. It tends to be those that have had braces or some sort of appliance in their mouth of some sort of dental work. Not always, but it's funny in working with that. Like me, it's usually clicking, popping, locking of the jaw to some degree, and usually it's one side worse than the other. Mine is the right side. It relates to pelvic floor, usually the same side. I have a right-sided pelvic floor tightness since childbirth, and I'm also a chronic right ankle sprainer. So ankles, pelvic floor, TMJ, they all just seem to correlate. It has to do with a lot of myofascial things and nervous system, but it all tends to be on the same side. Not always, because nothing is always a perfect fit at all.
Yes.
But.
That's really, really interesting. I've learned a lot about how your tongue, like you're connected from the tip of your tongue to your toes, but seeing the correlation of the jaw and the pelvis, that's really, really interesting. Is there something that someone who is interested in doing oral appliance orthodontic work could do to prevent dysfunction?
So it's a good question, possibly, because again, there's no great one answer, one size fits all answer. But there are a lot of things you can do as far as tongue strengthening, jaw strengthening, making sure you have normal range of motion. When you open, your jaw goes straight down rather than doing a C or an S curve. There are some things you can do that may keep you out of appliances. It also is down to the calming your nervous system, unclenching your jaw, unclenching your glutes, unclenching your abs. And us as females, we tend to be ab drippers, booty clenchers, and we internalize a lot of our stress. So I also look at people through the lens of the nervous system reset. So I talk a lot about grounding, earthing, breathing techniques, calming down the whole nervous system, stimulating the vagus nerve.
So your philosophy in treating is really a holistic approach, which we love and appreciate.
Yes.
So just to kind of take out some of the nervousness for a new patient, if I were coming to you and saying like, hey, I'm having some issues, like I feel like there's tightness in, my hips or whatever, and I also have right-sided TMJ, what would it look like to come into you and just like sit down and talk, or like kind of walk us
Great question, and that is absolutely right on my philosophy. Another part of, I've had so many people that have walked into my office and they're by the end in tears because they said I've been the first person that's truly listened, and to me that's so important because a lot of times you go to the doctor or you go to just a regular physical therapist or any kind of a therapist, and they might let you talk for about 5 minutes or less. In fact, that's kind of what we were taught to in school, like, oh, get them back on track. You got to get down to the problem. And yes, that is right. But it's also, you can listen, you can hear so much more when you're listening with your heart, listening to what they're not saying as much as what they are saying. And a lot of times the more people get to talk to me, the longer they get to talk, they might tell me something that happened to them as a child that absolutely correlates to what's going on with them now. And they've just never had the opportunity to talk about, a fall off of a horse when they were 9 years old. And that absolutely is, showing up in their body now that they're in their 30s. So I forgot what the question was now.
What can they expect?
Just like,
expect?
Yeah.
So first of all, they can expect that I'm going to listen a lot with all of my ears, my heart, my mind, my soul. And I will watch, just like if anyone's been in physical therapy, we watch you move, we watch your range of motion. We also passively stretch some of the joints. Sometimes I'm going to actually open your jaw. I'm going to put gloves on. I'll go inside your mouth and test muscles to see how tight they are, see how strong different muscles are. But we're also looking at posture almost always. And usually the first homework I give every single person is breathing exercises because nobody breathes right. And so I really want people to calm their nervous systems because ever since 2020, I think everyone's nervous systems have become dysregulated to some degree. And that's just, I didn't think much about it before then, but as my own, because we all went through basically a trauma, a big, long, years-long trauma, and it shows up in pain and dysfunction some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's not the cause of TMJ, but a dysregulated nervous system is not helping anything. It's keeping inflammation in your body, and so I try to get down to the root of that also, because if we can calm down their nervous systems, calm down inflammation, a lot of pain disappears so we can truly get to what is causing that, whatever the issue may be.
Can you give us an example of a breathing exercise? I think that would be helpful for the listeners.
Okay.
All right.
Put your teas down. One hand here, one hand on your belly. I want everyone to take a deep breath in and notice which hand moves, your top hand or your bottom hand or both hands. Now, take a deep breath in, breathe in for a 4 count. Hold for a 4 count. Breathe out for more than a 4 count. You want only your bottom hand to move. You don't want this to move at all. So when we start breathing up here, we're overworking a lot of our neck muscles. Our jaws are usually clenched when doing that, and that just overworks all of these that don't need to be working. What we want to see is this. Take some practice. So you want to do it in front of the mirror, but don't let the top hand move at all. But this is really good belly breathing. And studies show if you do it 6 times, this 4-4-4 breathing, belly breathing, it is optimum for stimulating the vagus nerve, which is our calm down nerve, the rest and digest, rather than getting us out of fight or flight. So I make people do that all the time at red lights, or when someone cuts you off in traffic. Or when the kids are screaming.
Kids for sleeping. I'm like,
yes.
Let's everybody do our breathing right now.
Yes,
it's time.
That's a great tip. I love the noticing with both hands how you can tell which one's moving. And you're right, if you're breathing in your chest, you're not able to really get a deep breath.
I've got another fun one for you.
Okay.
Will we still be in the camera if we stand up?
I think so. If not,
Okay.
figure it out.
So this one has to do with your tongue.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to turn and face away from the camera.
Okay.
And say left or right.
Left.
Left. All of us are going to just stand right here and turn as far as you can to the left. Okay. And now notice where you are. Now come back. Now you're going to stick your tongue out and to the left, leave it out and to the left, and then turn your body. Ready? Go. You go farther.
Uh-huh.
So your body goes where your tongue goes. So if you notice Michael Jordan in all of his dunking, and his tongue is up and out, his body is following where his tongue is.
That's fascinating.
So when you're at rest, you want your tongue to rest on the roof of your mouth up at the palate, but not at the back of the teeth. Because if it's resting at the back of your teeth, it puts you more in this forward head posture. But if it's suction to the roof of your mouth with your jaws gently open or your teeth just barely separated, it puts you in a better posture. So tongue posture, that's the other first.
I know that's good for
Yes.
Caitlin and I are actually going to embark on our myofascial or myomunchie university. So this is
we're learning
fantastic.
all the tongue
Yes.
importance, and it's a very crucial muscle.
Yeah. I
Yes.
love that little last
That was
exercise.
really
though.
fun. I'm gonna have to do that
So
with the
fun.
kids.
Right.
Be like, all right, let's do a
Yes.
test. That was really fun. So tell us more about what you're doing in the community. So what are you up to?
So I started my own company a couple of years ago, and it's just me right now, Triage Physical Therapy, located in downtown Rogers. But right now, I'm just trying to get the word out to the community. Of course, I want more patients in my door, but I'm also wanting to educate the public as much as possible on things that are very helpful, giving tips and tricks away for different things, mainly things like bladder leakage. I just remember being a child and my mom and all of her friends just laughing like, oh, you just leak a little with laughing, coughing, sneezing. That's a part of, having children. So I just thought that was normal. And then through pelvic floor physical therapy classes, I learned, any amount of leakage is not normal. It may be common, but it's not normal. So
I have a knock at the front. I don't think I turned off the open sign.
Oh.
Let me turn it off, but I'll be right back.
Like, oh, we're open, but the door doesn't open.
I know, it's like, is that what I heard?
It sounded almost to me like it was at the
All right.
Oh, it's me. I got it. Oh my gosh, what a stinker. Oh my gosh, look at this. My husband he won the fantasy football. It's bourbon.
Oh,
Bourbon
I could have used that earlier.
I was like, there's a guy with alcohol. I was like, go away. I was like, no. He was like, no, it's for Derek. I'm like,
Listening, buddy. I said, give me that. Oh my
thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
I was like,
See, we can pause.
but I realized I left the open sign on. I was like, somebody really wants some soap.
Locked doors and not going to
Right?
Friendly, gentle knock, but it sounded to me like it came from the back, and I was like,
Are we still recording?
We're still recording. It's okay, guys. This is a real life,
leave this. We're not gonna edit that out.
Oh.
Yes.
So in the community, I'm trying to get the word out about bladder leakage and how, even though it may be common, it's not normal, and trying to give some tips and tricks. I've gone to CrossFit gyms, bar studios, chiropractor clinics. I'm talking with some functional medicine doctors and high-end esthetician right now. and doing some more talks. So anybody out there who would like for me to come in and talk about bladder leakage, also low back pain, lymphatic drainage. That's my new one is lymphatic drainage and teaching self-care techniques you can do daily at home just to get the lymph going, get rid of your yuck.
I smell a workshop.
Yes. And then TMJ headache self-care. So I do a bunch of different ones, but really I just want information out there to the people like my mom and her friends back in the day that let's there's things you can do.
Right, you're not stuck like that.
Yes. So
that's very cool. So is there anything else you want to share about what you're doing? And I know that we had mentioned that we're going to be doing the puberty party soon, and you said you were going to help out with that. We're really excited.
Yes.
You're going to bring a pelvis?
Yes, I'm going to bring a pelvis. I might bring a couple.
Okay.
I've got some that they can make themselves. Oh my gosh. Like I have them printed out, and they get to just cut and staple and
that's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
That way we can really start from the bottom up with the young people that really.
What's one thing that I found fascinating is, and I will say back in the day, I'm older than y'all, but as a child we didn't talk about vaginas and penises. It was Tinklemans and dots.
Words that are the real words.
Yes.
Yeah.
But children who know the actual medical terminology for vaginas, penises, breasts are 70% less likely to be sexually abused because they are able to talk to an adult about the vagina, somebody touched my vagina, and there's not shame around it. So that is another thing I am passionate about, is talking to parents that go ahead and use the medical terminologies. Don't talk about periods with your children. My husband, we have 2 girls, and it's always been something they can come to us and talk about. Maybe it is at the dinner table. It's normal. It's normal.
Yes,
it is.
Yeah,
and they have never had problems talking to us about the things that come along with their hormone cycles or anything like that. So I am very passionate about that as well.
Love sharing that, because that's on our hearts too, and the puberty party is really like a kickoff to that, for moms and daughters to connect too, if it might be uncomfortable for mothers to get into a room with other women who are like, let's help you over this hump. So that's more community investment, and I love that.
Yes, that's really wonderful. I know for me, I feel like I didn't know anything until I was already done having children. And then it's like, oh, I need to know all this, and I need to tell everyone.
Yes. And I was just going to also say, I provide physical therapy services for all of these things, and for rotator cuff shoulder repair, I will gladly send you to someone who specializes in that. That's not my passion. That's not what I'm good at. I'm really good at these things that I treat. Some of the things I really love to treat, and you can tell when you walk in the office, like I love.
You light up.
Yes,
now. It's awesome.
Yes. But I still offer massage therapy. I don't really focus on that, but I do offer that. And I'm a manual physical therapist. Even at the end of a plan of care, I still have my hands on people of some way, shape, or form, because it is healing. And I do dry needling, cupping, lymphatic drainage. I do a lot of these things as standalone services as well, just in case anyone's out there interested in those things as well. So, but you can find it all on my website.
Okay. And what is your website?
TriagePhysicalTherapy.com, and triage is spelled with a silent P for PT. Triage, so like pneumonia or pterodactyls.
Yes, we'll drop a link too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And any other ways of contact? You do Instagram or?
I do Instagram. It's triage underscore physical therapy or hyphen. I forget.
I think
we'll link it.
underscore.
Yeah,
I
underscore.
follow you. Yeah.
Yes, and Facebook. I'm getting better about social media. I'm getting there.
We understand.
It's a journey.
Yes, it is.
It's a learning journey.
Well, this has been so much fun. I'm so
for
thankful.
having
This has just been so informative, and I really feel like our listeners are going to be able to take a lot from it. And I hope that they reach out to you.
Yes, me too.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.